the best Japanese albums of 2023 so far. Let's start with a bang and talk about the best Japanese album of the year so far. EO by Cero. Cero is a band that's been around for a long time, but I was always kinda iffy on their previous releases. Polylife Multi-Soul was fine, but didn't have a lot that stood out to me. I did like the singles for this album though, so I decided to give it a shot, and I was blown away. In the 5 years since Polylife, Cero have undergone a complete metamorphosis. The jazzy pop songs of that record have been chucked out the window in favor of sprawling, artsy tracks focused more on psychedelia. This record is immaculately produced too, which only adds to the psychedelic effect that they're going for. Tracks like Tableau and Nemesis show a more thoughtful and complex side to Cero. Tableau packs a killer chorus over its glitchy percussion, shaky piano hits, and a lush instrumental that washes over your ears. Nemesis is the song before it, and it's so different, with a more minimal instrumental focused on building up and fantastic vocal layering. And despite the stark contrast, these songs work together perfectly in building up a pretty cohesive album, all things considered. And I haven't even talked about the biggest star here, that's FDF. Being a jazzy pop song, it's more in line with Cero's old material, but this too is a massive step forward for them. The percussion hits a high here with a thumping drum beat that drives you through some escalating synths and a catchy chorus. It's maybe the best Japanese pop song of the year. Not so far, just the year. I honestly wanted to do a full review for this album, but it was such a mind-blowing record that I genuinely didn't know how to go about it. It's fantastic. Please check it out. Next up is one I did get to talk about on this channel, but it's still great, and that's Fine Line by Pasocom Music Club. This is the 4th time I'm talking about them in the last 2 months on this channel. If you can't tell, I love this record. I will keep this a little brief because I do have a full review of this that you can watch, but this is a super fun synth-pop record. Pasocom Music Club's last record, Sea Voice, was a lot more contemplative. You know, it came out during the pandemic, so it's a lot more minimalist. It's focused on nature and vibes and that kind of stuff. It's a great album, but was also a departure from their previous upbeat, fast synth pop and DJ roots. With Fine Line, Pasocom Music Club is going, what's that? The pandemic's over? And deciding to throw the most energetic party they can to celebrate. That starts straight from the opener, which is Pump featuring Kelmiko. If you want to bring the energy to any song, calling up Kelmiko is a fantastic choice. They deliver here too, with some punchy rap and a great chorus, on top of the kinda chaotic synth beat that Pasocom Music Club have made their names with. That's not the only rap song on the album either. UFO Me features the Hair Kid doing some rap, and it too is super fun. I was probably too harsh on this song when I did my actual review on this album. It's super fun, and the Hair Kid's voice and rapping style does work quite well on the beat. It's a really good time. There's also the 2 singles that came off this. Kick and Go was the first, and it's one of the most chaotic songs they've ever made. Like, it's vaguely reminiscent of some 2000s plus tech squeezebox type stuff. It's great, and it sounds unlike anything else they've ever done. In contrast, Day After Day is a bit more of a return to the sounds of Sea Voice. The album slows down in the last stretch as that energetic party comes to an end, and Day After Day kinda feels like the morning after. You know, you've had the best night of your life, but Mei Takahashi is here to deliver you some bittersweet vocals because life goes on. Pasocom Music Club delivered once again here. They're still absolutely artists that you need to keep an eye on going into the future. Next is one that I really liked but just didn't end up having time to review. That's Perfect Young Lady 3rd Season by Perfect Young Lady. This is a group I kinda stalled checking out for a while because their cover art aesthetic is really just not for me, like at all, but I'm glad I eventually gave them a shot with this new record because the music's really good. Do you like 80s Idol Kaio type stuff? Do you like the very imperfect recording quality and lo-fi production that it had? If so, I've found the perfect album for you, because that's pretty much what this is. This gives a pretty good imitation of that 80s sound with its loud-ass Casio synth loops and lo-fi production. I'm usually not a fan of super lo-fi sounding stuff on pop albums, but it only adds to the retro charm here. PYL Nosakon Tokoro is the first song here, and one of the best songs here, being driven by a super fun chorus and the simultaneously dancey and dusty synths. It's one of the truest recreations of that 80s sound that I've ever heard. Track 8 is that. Look, I can read hiragana and katakana. I don't know what the hell that's supposed to be. I don't know kanji. Anyways, the whispered vocals work super well over a bit of a darker sounding instrumental that's padded out with like 20 excess layers of reverb, because this album is taking you back to the days when a bunch of Japanese musicians got their first keyboards and went, "Ooh, what does this button do?" and added like 40 layers of reverb to everything. Track 10 is very good too, with a great hook and the best melodies on the album. The synth instrumental is doing a lot here, and the percussion loop adds some much needed punch to this song. I'm scared to comment on the melodies here though, because the first kanji is naked, so maybe don't Google that. Anyways, good song. This one's Bandcamp only, but it's still worth a check out. And if you really need a streaming service or something, it's Name Your Price, so you can just download it. Maybe I'll get around to their other albums someday once that album cover stops scaring me off. Another album I've touched on briefly on this channel, but I'll talk about again here, is Sumida-ku Depression by miraidempa. He's been good for a while now. Check out his albums Persona and Ex-Friends if you want more, and this is just another great continuation of his edgy slacker rock sound. The first song, "They who know the truth are not equal to those who love it, and they who love it are not equal to those who delight in it," is maybe the best song here. Despite its mouthful of a title, it's a super strong rock song, pairing some hard guitar riffs and melodies in the verses with a drop into a great chorus. That chorus also features a great hook and melody, something it shares with a lot of songs on this album. Dokusho Kanso Bun is another standout track here, and it's a weird one. This could probably be a pretty commercially successful rock song if you gave it to a normal band and stripped back all the noise elements. It's got a long, melodic, catchy chorus, and it isn't too fast or slow to scare people away. Like, if you handed this to some random famous pop rock band, they could probably do great things with it. Contrasting that, Gentleman's Agreement is a standout track for opposite reasons. This song is fast, hard, and the kind of cut that wouldn't work if any other artist got to do it. This song is another one with some great vocals. It has another catchy chorus melody, but it also has some super cool rap style bits going on in the verses. The guitar during the chorus is also a highlight, and so are the drums towards the end as they propel the song to almost a dancey rhythm. Everything comes together perfectly to create a great angry rock song. Miraidempa as a whole is great, and I think he might have another album coming out either before the end of this year or next year, so hopefully I'll be talking about him more soon. He's really underrated. Check him out. Finally, an album I did a full review on, but one I need to admit that I got really wrong. That's Good Pop by PAS TASTA. When I did a review on this album, I gave it a 7 out of 10, which is way too low. It's since grown on me like no other album this year has, to the point where I want to raise this up to like an 8.5 out of 10. Even during that review, I did really like the first two songs on the album, and I still do. Soon Mary Smoke and Peanut Phenomenon start this album off with a bang. Soon Mary Smoke is a more normal pop song, I guess. It's got some dancey flair and a sick bass line. The production and sound design as a whole is really on point with this track. It's my favorite song on the record. Peanut Phenomenon is great too, as while Soon Mary Smoke is a smooth pop song, Peanut Phenomenon puts the hyper in hyper pop. It's almost more hyper rock, if you can call it that. The best part of this song is the chorus that features just a wall of compressed noise thrown at you. It's so hype. The rest of the song is great too though, including a feature from a Peanut VTuber, who does way better than you'd expect given the phrase Peanut VTuber. Now, where I was really wrong on this album is with the second half. In the review, I said I didn't like River Relief. I said the best parts of the song started too late. I called it bland for most of the runtime. Somehow I called it not really distinctive, which is dumb. I was horrendously wrong. I also thought the production in the first half of the song was boring, which was just a bad take. I'm sorry. This is actually one of the best songs on the album. This song is exciting, it's super interesting, there's cool things happening all throughout it, and I found myself coming back to this more and more as time goes on. It just took a couple extra listens to grow on me. It's fantastic though. The last couple songs on this album I also liked in the review, but I like them even more now. I've fallen in love with the feature on Blank Benzo. Peter Parker 69 are super cool artists. Turtle Thief and Zip Zapper are also two hype tracks to end the album. They add a perfect punch and give you something to remember the whole thing by. I will happily admit I was wrong on this album. Is it too late to raise my score to like an 8.5 out of 10? Because if it's not, I'm doing that. This is easily one of the best Japanese albums of the year so far. So yeah, there's my list. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. It does actually help, especially for a channel this size, and I really do appreciate it. Let me know if you want me to do a similar list to this, but with songs instead, because I'd be down. Otherwise, I'll just wait till the end of the year for that. Bye!